Okay, I think I'm live now. What? That is so weird. What was that in my camera? Okay, sorry. Hi, I'm on OBS, so I can't do the intro again, as usual. Well, like I usually do. That's up. Okay. And my cat, of course, has been ignoring me the entire time I've been home from work until I sit down to stream. And then she has to come and she has to sit right here on the desk where I had my keyboard. Huh. Yeah. Well, good news is I think we may have found a place for her to go. So, yeah. So she may not be here much longer. Yeah. You okay? You okay? Go away now. Go away then. Get off my desk. Okay. She's adorable. She's cute. She's very sweet. She is very sweet. And I do care for her very much. I love her. But I think she'd be happier in a home where she can actually roam the entire home. And I know I would be happier in a home where my dog can roam the entire home. So, anyway. Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing? Oh, wow. Hey, Mysterious Mermaid. Hi, Steffi. Hey, Mama T. What's up? I am enjoying my weekend. Thank you. I hope you are as well. Hey, Misty. Hey, Triple Threat. Hey, Sue Elliott. Okay, all right, I have a lot to say on the fucked up shit I've been seeing over on Katie's shit, but I know a lot of people want to know about the Unirock update, so I'm going to get into that real quick. So, let me get over here my email. I don't even have my email open up yet. So, I don't know if everyone remembers or if you guys are familiar with or whatever, but Unirock had a court hearing. The hell? Go. Oh, that's right. I just turned my keyboard off because the cat was stepping on it. Forgot. Okay. Unirock had a court hearing, a scheduled court hearing over the lawsuit that Jonathan Lee Riches filed against Unirock for defamation. Well, filed against Unirock, Unirock's mother, Unirock's father, for defamation. That's so funny. All right, so let me pull this up. Oh shit, I gotta respond to that too. Damn it. Okay. So the status hearing was yesterday. There was the hearing that they had. And so the update is the case is proceeding to a pre-trial hearing on January 12th. Jonathan told the judge he intends to add Rachel Tripp to the suit as well as an amended complaint to add the lies he's made up about Jonathan stalking his girlfriend and family. Wait, what? As well as an amendment to add the lies he made up about Jonathan stalking his girlfriend and family. Okay. So those are the official updates. But we have a little bit of commentary to add to this too, because yes, of course, Jonathan Lee Riches went to this court hearing, but he brought people. Okay, so and I'm getting commentary from one of them, and so apparently, you need. Oh, I gotta look at a tweet. Is that what they sent me? No, that's okay. So I have to wait. Let me pull up a tweet here real quick. I, as everyone knows, like when it comes to the updates and everything I get on this lawsuit. Now, for granted, I have permission to share with everyone, what's in these emails and stuff, but I just don't feel right about showing them. But if anyone wants to dispute anything that I say or share from these emails, you're more than welcome to, contact those involved and see what they have to say. That's all I'm going to say. Because I'm not, obviously, sharing anything that hasn't been proven to be true, accurate, or opinion, which is going to be what I'm about to share, the commentary. But first, before I do that, I want to see what Unirock wore to court today, because apparently this is on his Twitter. Or yesterday, wore to court yesterday. I'm sorry. I didn't even see that part of the email. Darn. So let's see here. Hey, I'm streaming. Please don't ring the dog. Don't do it. Okay, never mind. I thought he was gonna do something. Okay. So looking for September 15th or yesterday. 2:35. Oh my God. I'm going to show you guys what Unirock wore to court. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. So in the email it said, take a look at Unirock's Twitter to see, it is 2:35 post, 2:35 post, and see what he wore to court today. Wow. I have to change scenes. Am I frozen? Why am I frozen? There we go. Don't hit me frozen. So, I can't move that. Okay. I'm going to do that and then bring this out. Oh, I can't. No, not that one, fucker. That one. Okay, so this is what he wore. Apparently he wore his hair and his beard like that, and that hat and those glasses, but he also wore a lobster shirt. Did someone say, I can't see what the whole thing says, but that's what he wore to court. To court. That's what he wore. I mean, I'm not saying that someone has to show up in court wearing a suit or whatever, or, just with really nice shoes and, an expensive jacket or whatever. I'm not saying that. But that's what he wore. And this is what someone who doesn't have an attorney, who's trying to maneuver this court case by himself, as representing himself, this is what he wore. I mean, it's almost like he's trying everything possible to lose, to fail at this, and to piss off the judge in the process. Like, why would you show up in court wearing this? Why? Especially when I don't know. I would be feeling like kind of I would be feeling underrepresented. I would be feeling like everything was stacked against me, that the odds were not in my favor. So I think I would try and just at least eliminate any possible way that I can further the shitty outcome that's likely to come my way. And one of those things would be, let me at least dress the part. Let me at least show respect. Let me at least not look like a piece of shit. Right? But no, not Unirock. No, that. Nope. Okay. All right, back to the email. All right, so that's what he wore to court. Yep. Okay, apparently Unirock arrived with his mother, and they were both dressed like they were going to Walmart, not coming to court. Immediately when they entered, Oh, okay. Immediately when they entered, they could be heard all the way upstairs because they came in the downstairs, and they could be heard all the way upstairs talking. Um, he and his mom showed up acting like this was like a fun family outing, pretty much. They sat in the hall outside the courthouse just talking away, laughing and joking, and I guess he was making comments about how this was all nothing, and don't worry, we just have to do this one little hearing today and it'll all be over. Well, apparently after a few minutes, um, Jonathan came in and sat where he was supposed to sit there. Oh, okay, all right. I'm not going to share that part, just in case. Um, but yeah, I guess he and his mom were acting like they were at a party or something, or some like family get together or something. So then they all go into the courtroom and they sit on their respective sides, on either side, whatever. And Uni and his mom just continued to talk it up, laughing and talking about random things about how it's Christian to be nice to your enemies and just really weird stuff, especially weird stuff for Unirock, it sounds like. And they were talking very loudly, just carrying on. At one point, someone wondered if they were possibly just high or something, like not sober. It was very strange behavior to have in a courtroom, and it was like, if it were the person commentating, they would have been mortified. So this continued for a little while, and then Unirock's dad showed up a few minutes late, like 10 minutes late, which wasn't really that big of a deal because the judge was also late. And I don't think I've ever been to court where the judge wasn't running late, but whatever. And so I guess the three of them just kept talking like it was like this was the most exciting thing or something that happened to them as a family, and this was like a moment they were going to remember forever. Like it was almost like a party or something. Now, for granted, when it comes to Unirock, I think that's kind of just how he acts. Like that's how he will deal with his anxiety, basically, But but I guess maybe like just seeing him and his parents do it, like it's just got to be like a weird like family trait to be watching. Maybe I don't know, but so the judge came in and I'll start it, and Jonathan told the judge his intentions as far as the next steps, as far as the amended complaint adding Rachel. So the judge gave him 14 days to amend the complaint and add Rachel. Then Rachel will have 28 days to respond, and then discovery begins. With that being, I guess discovery is due by the end of December. So Uni tried, I guess, several times to whine to the judge about his problems. Like, he was like, I know nothing about the law. I'm totally inept to do this for myself and have no idea what I'm doing. But he was in some, like, and he was talking to the judge as if, like, his situation was, like, something unique or something. Like, he was the only person in the world who was ever put in this situation to try to figure out what to do next. Well, I'm sure that he is the minority, because most people do just pay their attorney fees, And he said that his attorney had to drop out because Unirock, couldn't raise funds to pay her. He couldn't raise the funds to pay her. Well, I guess the judge was basically like, well, that's not unique at all. And he was like, I don't know what to tell you. But you should probably get an attorney. So when Uni tried to say something about his motion to dismiss, and the judge seemed amused, and was like, no, this isn't being dismissed. Uni also tried to make a fresh new false claim right there in court and told the judge that Jonathan was calling his family members and he wanted a protective order. The judge was like, but this is America, and people are allowed to contact other people to talk. So, and yeah, I guess that's a direct quote from the judge. That's a direct quote. But this is America, and people are allowed to contact other people to talk. Yeah. So, and then at one point, his mom spoke up and was, saying how she shouldn't be on the lawsuit because she knows nothing about any of this. and how she doesn't even know Jonathan, which, I mean, didn't she get like that horrible letter from Jonathan, and that made her so scared that she went and utilized her Second Amendment right, basically, right? I mean, sure, she probably didn't know Jonathan before that, but I think it would be safe to say that she knows Jonathan now, right? Or at least knows of him anyway. But whatever. Um, it, okay, so the person says it was like they were the same person, Uni and his mom. So strange to see an older female version of Unirock. Well, I think we've seen that though before in Katie, right? My opinion, allegedly. So the judge told her, the dad, told her and the dad, tough luck. If you want to try and get taken off, you're going to need an attorney, and it would have to be a different attorney than your son, and maybe then you can be removed. We'll see. And so she asked if she had to keep coming to the hearings, and the judge said yes. They were. It appeared as though they were dejected and depleted by the whole thing. So, in summary, the hearing was a total disaster for Unirock. He really thought the case would get dismissed, but the funniest part of all was him whining to the judge about all of his problems, as if the judge was a school counselor and Unirock was tattling on Jonathan. Embarrassing and humiliating came to mind. On the way, here's an interesting part. On the way out of the courtroom, Uni was pissed and tried. Oh, okay, I don't know what that means, so I don't want to say what that is. On the way out of the courtroom, though, his dad, Unirock's dad, came over to Jonathan and shook his hand to introduce himself. Jonathan asked the dad if he wanted to talk so he could explain everything going on, and Uni and his mom told him no. Don't talk to him, they said, and pulled him away, the father. Jonathan wanted to attempt a settlement offer in person, but they left, and that was that. So, they're past now the motion to dismiss. That's not going to happen. And the case is proceeding to discovery and trial. So, and so the commentator wants to add just a daily reminder. All Unirock had to do was take down the videos and stop lying. And this could have all been avoided. But he doubled down, and this is what he's winning. And which I think sometime after that T-shirt or that 235 tweet or whatever, Unirock tweeted again. And his tweet here, actually, no, I can just pull that up right now. Was that right? Yep. Okay, so at 7:20 p.m. last night, Unirock tweeted one more time. And of course, he has to try and save face or whatever, make it look like, he wasn't completely, totally humiliated, and he's not on the losing end of this, this lawsuit. So his tweet says, damn it. Again. There we go. So, best day ever in court and out. I'll update y'all tomorrow because I'm starving and tired. Long day, but great day. Wow. Oh, and someone says, I sure hope it gets dismissed. You can keep hoping there, Kathy. Because that doesn't look like it's going to happen. All right, so let me check chat here before I move on. Where is my chat? There we go. Yeah, I saw. Yeah, he's not learning from this, exactly. Yeah, that's a good question, Mikhail. I wonder if Nate has been in his ear. Like, where's Nate? Why isn't Nate giving his buddy there a hand, you know? I mean, what the hell? I mean, I get it. Nate's not his attorney, you know, it's not his responsibility. But, I mean, Unirock sure seems to have gone out of his way for Nate when the situation arose. It does, you know, it kind of does seem like there's a lot of people who are just kind of leaving Unirock out there on the ledge all by himself. I wonder why that is. Could it be because he's full of shit and there people are just sick and tired of having to defend the losing side? I mean, that's what I think. Oh no, you guys have a hurricane coming through? Oh. Well, be safe. Please follow the advice of the weatherman, or you know, I don't know, the authorities or whatever. If they say, you know, leave the area, you know, because like shit's gonna be coming through here, just remember Katrina, okay? And all the people who couldn't or didn't leave, and just what they went through. I'm not saying that this is Katrina coming through, but you never know. Like, does anyone really correctly, accurately plan for Katrina? You know, not everyone does anyway. Oh, here we go. Hey, Renelle. It's crazy. Okay, so I'm going to move on now to the ridiculous fucking shit I see. I haven't even looked at her Facebook yet. I only looked at her Instagram so far. There was enough, but I'm still going to look at her Facebook. But right now, we're going to go to Instagram. There's a couple of ridiculous fucking posts here. It's... Oh, what is this shit? I didn't even see this one. What the... Okay. All right. I'm not going to get sucked into another one. I'll get sucked into it later. Okay. Let me share screen here. We're going to start with this one. Oh, no, wrong one. Wrong button. All right. You know what? I'm just going to get rid of this frame because it's not working for me. Yeah, I want to get rid of it. Oh, no, wait. No, I don't want to get rid of it. We'll just hide it. No. Hide. Okay. Okay, go away. Here we go. Okay, I'm actually really good with OBS. I just can't make up my mind what it is I want to do. But I know how to actually at least work it now. And I really do love OBS. Because you can just do so much more with it. And you don't have to pay for, like, you know, extra money for, like, extra features or whatever. It's all free. It's all open source. So I'm going to try using it more often. So here we have, okay, so the screenshot she shares is allegedly, I'm guessing a comment from somewhere, but in the comment says, without a crystal ball, have you tried doing a parasite cleanse? I've been doing a lot of research, and doing that sometimes will get autism under control. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some idiots out there who post shit like this all the time. I have no doubt that this post was made. I just wonder when it was made. And I'm just now seeing this, so I don't know what she's going to claim here. If you are ignorant and gullible, you can fall for these charlatans that promote false theories about what causes autism. Ignorant, yes. Gullible, I don't know. This seems kind of harsh. Here's the thing. You know, in fighting a lot of the charlatans and the people pushing and promoting pseudoscience, sure, I think I started off this with the same opinion as Katie Joy. Like, they were just all ignorant. They were too stupid. They were too trusting. They didn't know any better. And I mean, just like they had to smarten up or something. But I don't think that that's the case now. It's, there was years ago when I thought that. And over the years, there's one thing that's become apparently clear to me is that's not the case. Oftentimes, it's parents who are just desperate for answers, and they're not finding them. So when you want an answer and you can't find it, you're going to just keep looking. And that's the thing. And I think people that come along and cross their paths, and they start promising them answers. They start promising results. So the parents, are just trying to do the best by their kid for the most part. And so they trust them. Now, that's my initial thought. But at some point in time, you have to, even if you're trusting someone and you're listening to them and you're following their direction, whatever, when it starts to become harmful for your kid, I don't care how desperate you are for an answer. Nothing should come above and beyond protecting your kid. And that's where I start to get angry and stop losing the benefit of the doubt, I guess you could say. But anyway, that's another stream. Viewing autism as a monstrous disorder that rips apart families, destroys marriages, and ruins society is a fear that has been perpetuated and promoted by Autism Speaks for decades. If you are new to the world of autism, people will recommend you check out this organization. Soon you will learn the organization only exists in an attempt to fully eradicate autism from society. Yeah, I don't have anything good to say about Autism Speaks, so I kind of agree with her on a lot of this. I don't really talk about much because I don't have any connection to autism, and I don't feel like it's my place to platform anything there. I listen, I support, and I bear witness. Autism Speaks is hoping to locate the gene that causes autism and then promote prenatal testing to allow women to terminate pregnancies that discover the gene. I'm not aware of that. I've been out of the game a little bit, so maybe this is true, but I don't know. As a result of these sick people who hate autism, the market for miracle cures has taken over and preys on innocent families and children. Okay, I get all this, but I want to know when this comment was left for her. So she doesn't say when this comment was left for her, right? I'm correct in my assumption here, right? Because she hasn't really been talking about any of this for the longest time. And I'm looking at this text here too. I think that this is like an old screenshot, maybe. I think it might be. Because, I mean, she hasn't been doing anything or covering anything where this would have been left for her, right? Let me check the chat here. Which, I mean, that right there just kind of annoys me, because it's like she's taking something that's not even relevant now, that it's not even being discussed, it's not even a thing, and she's using it to paint a picture for herself, to be some sort of spokesperson, some advocate, some sort of hero, some doer of good or something. She's exploiting it. In my opinion, she's exploiting it. And here's the thing. I mean, the people, too, they leave these types of comments and shit on her page who really push this. They're more of the extreme sect of things as far as this goes. That's another thing I learned. Like, not everyone who comments or whatever, or who argues with you online, is of these beliefs. A lot of times they're just arguing, but they're not that extreme. I don't think that there's quite as many people in these communities that's as extreme to the point where they're giving their kids parasite cleanses. But even if 5% of them are, that's 5% too many. So whatever. But it just seems like all of these weird, very like extremist people in these hate groups or whatever, she attracts every single one of them almost, it seems. Like, where she attracts them in every single hate group anyways. I mean, and I still find this to be quite surprising because as long as I've been online and as long as I've been fighting with people online, and as pissed off as I've made people online, I haven't gotten any of the hate that she's gotten. Like, none. The hate I've received has been nowhere near the type of hate that she's received. And the amount of times I've received any hate has been a fraction of how many times she gets it. And now I get it. She has a much higher, larger platform than I do. But she didn't for a long time. And even then she got it just as much as she gets it now. According to her anyway. So it's just, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Anyway. Yes, you're right. KJ is just trying to preach to autistics, and it pisses me off because she's just using it for clout. Thank you. You explained it much better than I did, and that's kind of what I was trying to say. Yes. She's been on a major pity party. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get into that. So let's move on to that one. Although I do kind of want to look at the comments here real quick because I have a feeling that she's really working herself up here in the comments. Wait, okay. I appreciate these comments, Katie, yet I somehow don't resonate with the condition being classified as a disorder and disability, as compared to what and how. It feels so discriminating and stigmatizing, and I always wonder if there's better descriptors, words, that feel more welcoming versus othering. I'd be curious about your thoughts. Autism spectrum disorder is a disability. We don't view that as negative. It's just a fact. It helps give people access to services and support which is necessary. Well, people can still get access to support and services that's necessary without them being classified as disabled or disordered, right? I mean, so what? Is being different considered a disorder or a disability? Just simply being different? I'm sure that don't get me wrong, there are some that should be classified as such. But simply having autism, I think this person might have a point. I mean, and I'm not so sure that Katie's really one to give much opinion on that because she's not the one who's affected by autism. So why is she speaking on behalf of those who are when she's not? As a neurodivergent adult, I believe it's a disability, but only because the world is designed for neurotypicals. All right, I do see that point, as far as the world being designed. So why not change the design of the world? If okay, I don't even want to read that. So I know that I am not always the most considerate person when I'm speaking on things, or especially speaking on things that I know nothing about. So a long time ago, several years ago, I was writing something about autism, and I asked someone who was a very well-known advocate for those affected by autism. I asked her to read something I wrote and to give me her opinion, just sign off on it more or less. And she's like, oh, no. And she's like, yeah, we need to change some things. I'm like, this is why I asked. Like I said, I don't know anyone with autism. I'm not directly affected by autism. I'm not the person to be speaking on behalf of autism, So one of the first things she said to me was, don't refer to people with autism as autistic people. It's people with autism. So I'm reading this and I've always seen autistic people referring to it as a disability. And I remember her words, don't just it's people with autism. Don't refer to them as otherwise. And no, being labeled as disabled or something isn't a negative. That's not it. That, I mean, at least for me, it's not. But in much of society, they hear that and they'll think limited rather than negative. But that they're limited in a lot of ways that they may not be. So, I can tell you that I wouldn't change anyone. I would no shit. I want to get to see what she's saying. Oh, about the vaccine thing. Okay. Okay, this right here, this pisses me off. Like the way the person worded it, level 1 autism. Now, I don't know if that's a correct way to word it or not. But in parentheses, she put Asperger's syndrome. Meaning, I read that and I take that as she's not calling it Asperger's syndrome, but she's referring to it as the name it used to be called to help people understand what she's trying to convey. Like, this is what my brother has. This, in parentheses, let me help you relate to what I'm trying to say. That's how I read it. That's exactly how I read it. Because if she was calling it Asperger's, then she would have called it Asperger's right from the get-go and left nothing for parentheses, right? And then Katie says, I'm glad your brother has your love. Asperger's has been retired as a diagnosis. Asperger was a Nazi doctor that actually sent children to medical facilities to be killed. What the fuck, man? That's not... But yeah, no, she has to be the do-gooder fighter there. Like that sounds like Asperger. Oh, God. Way to go, Katie. Way to go. This person here is saying, my son had this diagnosis. I actually like that that's what it sounded like, Asperger. Katie's like, oh, well, I mean, that's a funny quip he came up with. But the history of this doctor is pretty horrific. And how he actually classified disorder is disturbing. He labeled people with this disorder as psychopaths. He also worked with Nazi leaders to have these kids murdered. Way to fucking rain on her son's parade, man. What the fuck? But, I mean, she's not advocating for people with autism. She's advocating for herself. Let's not forget that. Okay, I'm going to move on for this because I don't think I'm the best person probably to speak on this shit. So this is what I really wanted to get to, or originally wanted to go right to, but I got distracted. Let me go here to chat though real quick. See, did I piss anyone off yet? Yes, I know. Society doesn't take kindly to outliers. And for that, I get it. I do. I know. I hear the problem, and I just think, well, wouldn't the solution wouldn't the solution that makes more sense? Wouldn't it be to just make the world more suitable? Like, just adjust shit. I mean, what does it matter? What's the big deal? But I know people aren't going to do that, so I get it. I get it. Right, exactly. Yeah, no, I agree. Mysterious. Like I said, I'm not even if I were trying to speak on behalf of people with autism, I'm not the person to be doing that. I realize this and I know this. Yeah, my responsibility here, my job is to listen, or basically shut up, listen, and bear witness. So, yeah, she just has to rub it in that she's right. Yeah. Some people prefer autistic people. Okay. I don't know, it's just the way that this person, who I do trust to really be the person to know, because they are actually an official advocate. The way she's like, oh no, don't ever do that. I'm like, okay, sorry. I agree. I understand. I surrender. So, all right. So this one here, this post. True story. I was shamed for wearing a dress similar in style. See, I read in style and I think she means the magazine or something. I'm like, what the fuck? What is... I don't understand the sentence, but whatever. Similar in style as this by a family member in my 30s. How are you being shamed for shit like that in your 30s? I mean, I don't know. Why do I report about purity and modesty culture and cults? Because I grew up in that culture. She grew up in a cult, yo. In a cult. You're going to hear... Now, just think about this. After Jill Duggars' book, after Shiny Happy People, after all the things we have all read, heard, seen, learned about cults, and all the things that people go through and experience and the trauma they have to deal with as a result from cults, we are now going to hear Katie's horrific story on the cult she grew up in, and just hear what this fucking cult did to her. One of the most lasting and damaging situations that happened to me was at a wedding. No, that was Todd's most damaging. I'm sorry, I couldn't let it go. I was newly wed and only 32 years old. I felt excited to go to a wedding with my husband. Oh my God, she makes it too easy. Oh my God, like so many jokes just came to my mind here. He wore a sleek silver suit, and I dressed in a Calvin Klein vintage halter dress that was red and orange watercolor stripes. It completely complemented my figure, and I felt fantastic in it. That may be true. At the time, I was probably 15 pounds heavier than I am today. I was a full 34C cup. But that didn't matter. The dress was extremely classy and not at all too revealing. Right there. What does that mean? But that didn't matter. The dress was extremely classy, not at all too. So she's saying, what would have made it matter then? If she had worn something slutty, would it then have mattered? Because that just kind of tells me that she's the one subscribing to these beliefs. Because she's trying to point out, listen, I know, I had quite the rack on me, okay? But that didn't matter because what I wore wasn't too revealing. Had it been too revealing, then sure, they might have had a point. Like, that's not really where you want to come at this from, in my opinion. My husband and I walked into the patio at the wedding, which was held at a garden. A family member approached me and screamed. His voice bellowed, and everyone heard him as he said, "Oh my God, Katie, put those away. I don't want to see them." Everyone immediately stared at me. This part. I could see the spot on my husband's neck turn beet red. Now, let me remind you what she's explained thus far, okay? The most lasting and damaging situation, one of them, happened to her in this moment at this wedding, okay? This relative came up to her and screamed at her to put her boobs away because he didn't want to see her. I'm guessing, yeah, it is he. He didn't want to see it. And out of everything going on in that moment, how embarrassed she felt, she noticed not everyone staring at her, not the blood rushing to her head like her eyes were going to pop out because she was so embarrassed, not just shame, not everyone staring at her. No, she didn't notice that. What she noticed was the spot on my husband's neck turned beet red. This flush told me that he was furious and protective of me. Like that, oh my God. That's what it's all about for her. That moment, the moment she's describing right there, which I'm not even saying that this moment happened or whatever. I'm thinking that this is more, not fan fiction. I don't know. That's the word I'm looking for. Like her, softcore porn kind of desires, I guess. She's writing her own, I don't know what to put it, how to word it. There's a word, there's something to describe it, but it's not coming to my mind right now. But that's what I'm visioning here, that this is her fiction. This is her innermost desires that she's putting out into words here, into text, whatever. That's everything for her, I think. That moment, whatever, the feeling of being targeted, attacked, and someone being there to come to her rescue. Because that high is what she's always going after. I've never blushed in my life. Oh, what? Never. Never blushed in your life. Never in your entire life. I'm going to call bullshit on that. But felt like sinking into a puddle. Everyone was looking at me. Really? How could you tell everyone was looking at you when you're busy staring at your husband's red neck? Staring at me in a dress with their eyes laser focused on my breasts. Yeah. I had to get that image in my head. Now you all have to bear with it too. I'm sorry, but not sorry. And I really hope Balls is watching, because I think I owe that image to her after all the clam talk she does on Twitter. Or he does on Twitter. I don't know. They do on Twitter. This dress was not scandalous. Other women at the wedding wore similar styles. I couldn't believe I had been objectified in such a humiliating way by a family member. What would have been a non-humiliating way by a family member? I'm curious. I tried my best to keep my composure, but I could feel men's eyes on my chest for the rest of the day. Again, you're welcome. Years later, I confronted the family member. I expressed the deep pain and humiliation their words and actions caused me. Instead of apologizing, my family member said, "Well, Katie, you know that dresses like that make men have certain feelings. I just wanted to protect you." I started crying, sobbing. I was a 32... Wait a minute, what? When did she start crying and sobbing? Did she start crying and sobbing years later when she confronted the family member and they didn't apologize? Or did she start crying and sobbing when she was 32 years old at this wedding with her boobs? Not okay. I don't think they were hanging out. Whatever. I don't care. But it's not clarified. I was a 32-year-old woman, married, and a year later would become a mom. I didn't need to be protected. My body isn't an object. And I don't have to cover it to stop men from having feelings. What makes you think you didn't need to be protected? I mean, sure, in that situation you didn't. But just because you're a 32-year-old married woman doesn't mean you never need protection. We all do at times. That's my only point. But yeah, I completely agree. Body isn't an object. And we don't have to cover it to stop. We shouldn't have to cover it for men to stop having feelings, you know? But yeah. How about my family member not objectify or humiliate me and admit they hurt me? They never apologized. I was raised in a home by a narcissistic parent that did this to me until I went no contact with them. So, but remember, she never blushed before in her life. She was never so embarrassed or humiliated before to blush. She just said that. She went 32 years on this planet without blushing. But she was raised in a home that did this shit to her, until she went no contact. And when did she claim to do that? Like last year or 2 years ago or something? It's weird. What? So, and I don't even care what the first comment said, but Katie says, it rocks you to the core. Patriarchy breeds narcissism. Whether it's the IBLP or just toxic patriarchy, women are all treated the same. So remember that. Katie is treated the same as every other woman in this world by every man, whether it be someone raised in a religious cult like the IBLP or someone who just grew up with patriarchy, which I think in today's day and age, I think it's safe to say that patriarchy is everywhere to some degree. It is. And I'm sure some people will want to argue with me on that, but it is. But the thing is that you can't blame only men for this. Women, I think, are just as much to blame for in some regards. But overall, I think the biggest mistake that people make, men and women, is that we don't say anything. We don't speak up more when we should. And I'm right there with you on doing that, okay? That's my opinion anyways. But Katie is treated all just the same. She's treated just the same as Jill Duggar, as everyone else, right? I fail to see how that is. There's one comment here, though, I want to read. Oh yeah. Grew up in a church like that. Or grew up in churches like that. Went to a small private Christian school. It did a number on me, screwed me up. I get why you want to bring attention to this stuff. My family member wasn't religious. He was just a patriarch that left his reformed religion, which is like those Duggar, like Joy Anna, who isn't an IBLP. And I don't get what the bullseye thing is there for. I don't understand that. And God, this is so gross too, the way she words it. Same for me. Bikinis, bathing suits, tank tops, shorts, you name it. My body was always theirs to objectify. I don't know. There's something I can't put my finger at. I can try to explain it, but I don't feel like I'm going to do it. I'm going to explain it well. But there's something about the way she worded that. My body was always theirs to objectify. Something about that just does not fit right with me. And I feel like I need someone with more degrees than I have to explain to me why that might be. And it's like everyone's story that she comments on. She has to say same, same, same. This person says, I had an uncle I hadn't seen. I was a teenager. I came home at 27, or I haven't seen since I was a teenager. I came home at 27 years old for my other uncle's wedding. And this uncle I hadn't seen saw me and said, oh my God, Brie, you got hot. Damn, girl. I walked up to my stepdad and said, dude, get your brother in check. That's creepy. And my stepdad said, he's just a little drunk. It's fucking disgusting the way women are sexualized all the time. I'm so sorry that happened to you. My aunt's ex-husband did the same to me at another wedding. I felt like vomiting. I don't. That is kind of fucked up, though. Especially an older family member. That is really creepy. And where did I have it pass right by it? Oh. I'm gonna be no, she didn't delete it, did she? Okay, no. Okay, this one right here. That's shocking behavior, but I'm not sure how it relates to the question. You were 32. The person wasn't religious. Other people were wearing similar things. That's not exactly growing up in a cult. Thank you, Catherine Shea. Not all heroes wear capes. Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how I almost feel like, I wonder if maybe Jill's getting a little bit too much attention right now. And Katie's trying to take some of that away. So she has to be just like Jill. You know, she has to experience the same things, but on a worse scale than Jill did. And Jill's put it all out there in a book. How the hell's Katie going to compete with that? So she's going to start recalling stories of her own, from her own childhood at 32 years old, mind you. So, yeah. See, here's the thing, though, that really, this kind of stands out to me. Actually, let me... Yeah, okay, there wasn't another one, was there? Okay. So, it seems like, in my opinion, like I said, what it's all about for Katie there, it's all about that moment where she's like the targeted one. She's the one at risk. She's the one in danger. And someone comes along and is her savior, her protector. But it seems like she wants to keep recreating this almost, this moment or whatever. It keeps chasing after the high, in my opinion. And believe me, I'm not of any kind of experienced person to speak on things with authority. So take it with a huge grain of salt. Or don't take it at all, whatever. But I it almost seems like that's kind of what it is, though. So they would make sense, though. They would kind of explain why she's talking about the situations, the issues that she does, and how she's puts herself, like, she doesn't really cover an issue unless she gets to put herself right in the middle of it. Like, she can be the one in danger. She can be the one target. Like, she's going to speak up and defend these people who have been victimized. But she's not going to bother doing that unless she can then, too, be at risk of being victimized in some way. So she can then be the victim. You know, and I would also argue that she gets mad at herself for this. And that's why she then kind of turns around and starts attacking the victims. That's why she'll speak up on behalf of Jill for the next week or so. But then she's probably going to turn on Jill again, like she has in the past. Like how she has with Amy. Like how she has with pretty much everyone. The only person she hasn't turned on yet is Miranda. But she's definitely disrespected her along the way. Like, immensely so, in my opinion. So, all right, let me go here. Let me check chat. I haven't checked in a while. Holy shit. Oh, my God. I totally missed that. And, wait. My child is coming in here. 1 second here. Where's the microphone? She'll come out. I mean, you probably might have to lure her out with food if you want to see her.
I don't care about that.
Okay.
I thought you were getting rid of it.
Oh my God. Okay. Jennifer P., thank you so much for your super chat. Thank you for your support of Charlotte. Oh, no one has to thank me for that. I mean, it's the right thing to do. You know, as much as Charlotte and I have maybe disagreed on things in the past, and, you know, like I said before, there's not exactly any love lost or whatever, I still absolutely respect her as another content creator, and I completely and totally support other content creators being on the platform, especially those who don't agree with me, because, I mean, that's what it's all about, really, right? I mean, it'd suck if everyone said the same thing and thought the same thing and did the same thing, you know? So, yeah, you don't have to. Thank you very much, though, for your appreciation, but it's just what I do, what I'm going to do. I am going to have to wrap this up, though, it seems, because my son and his aunt, not my sister, but his aunt, are here, and I wasn't expecting them for another hour, so I thought I had time. But I'm going to have to take off for a short while. Let me get back here. I want to, what am I doing? Oh, good thing I didn't click on anything else, because I probably would have put everything there on blast on the screen. I do want to talk more about some, wait a minute. Not there. I don't care about that either. This right here. My child, okay. She shares this, like, I'm sorry. My child with autism has taught me the true meaning of unconditional love. I read that, and my takeaway is my child, in this his or her own unique way, has taught me the true meaning of unconditional love. Meaning that if I didn't love this kid, I would have fucking dropped him off somewhere by now. Like, that's how I read that. Am I the only one? Because, I mean, I would think that, you know, just being a parent, that teaches you the true meaning of unconditional love. Having a sibling, having a kid teaches you all of this. Having a parent, you know, family teaches you this, right? Just family. Okay, but sure, there's a different kind of love maybe with parents and kids, I guess, whatever. But that's all parents, all kids. It's not reserved for autism. And what do you mean the true meaning of unconditional love? Like, why is that? Because they weren't what you expected? Because they try your patience? Because they challenge you? That's how I read that. Am I the only fucking one? Or am I twisted here? Seriously, I want to know. He was not a man magnet. I mean, that's how I read that. And my first thought was that is such a fucked up thing to say. That's so fucked up. Right? Oh, she's getting a bunch of shit right now for this? Okay. Well, I'm not at all surprised. Did I miss anything else? Okay, no. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this up so I can go take care of what I'm gonna take care of here. I'm planning a live stream though for tomorrow night, and I'm gonna try and do this every Sunday night. I want to have it be a regular thing where just breaking down things that happened over the week or whatever. And I'm also gonna add it like a little segment to it. To give everyone like an idea of what I'm talking about. Like, there's a channel that I watch often. Jeff Holiday is the name of the creator, and he does this thing. Let me just pull him up. He does this thing called the Wingnut Roundup. Okay, that's what I want to do something like that. So I'm gonna set it up for tomorrow night. I'm going to plan it and everything, and that's what I plan on doing. So look out for me tomorrow night, and I will be uploading a video too tonight or tomorrow morning. So I will see you guys later. Thank you so much, and thank you again, Jennifer P., for the super chat.